We're going to tell jokes. Let's go. Where's his mother? Where's his daughter? Where's his grandmother? Hey guys, welcome to Too Personal. Thanks so much for joining me. Make sure you hit subscribe and follow us on social at Too Personal Show. Had a very long, very fun weekend. U.S. men's national team won. I believe that we will win. I know this isn't a sports show, but it's the only time I'm patriotic. It's the Olympics and the World Cup. So congrats to the men. We were at LA Pride this weekend for my dear friend Shirley. She was the Grand Marshal in Memoriam. So I've been to a lot of Pride events, but I've never actually walked in a Pride parade. So that was a cool experience. And now it's time for a new week. What do we have going on? What's happening in the world, Haley?
Well, for starters, Elon Musk became the world's first trillionaire this week when SpaceX began trading on the NASDAQ, pushing his net worth to approximately $1.1 trillion. The internet in the world is in an uproar, obviously. So I do want to ask you, do you feel like it is the responsibility of someone who has worked to accumulate their wealth to give it away or give back to everyone else?
Well, define work, because Elon did not work to get $1 trillion. I need people to read. Like, I beg of you to read. Google is free. Wikipedia is not a reliable source, but there is some information that will have some references in there for you. You can't use it in a school paper, but it's a good start. Okay, maybe type it into a Gemini or something. Elon's daddy worked. His granddaddy worked, but Elon comes from wealth. In the same way that people think that Trump was like this brilliant businessman because his daddy was a businessman. And listen, I'm not saying that just because your family comes from wealth that you can't be brilliant or that you can't work hard or that you can't create something new. It's just that Elon didn't do any of those things. He's an investor. He did not invent electric cars. He did not invent space travel. He invested in companies and grew them and did a bunch of unethical things along the way that you can read about on your own. We don't have enough time to get into all of it. But this idea that he just was in there digging ditches is erroneous. You know who was digging ditches? The people that worked in his daddy's emerald mines. That is who was digging ditches, not Elon Musk. Elon is an immigrant who holds multiple citizenships because he is from South Africa. His mother is Canadian, and he just became a citizen, and I think in like 2000 or 2002. So he's an immigrant that came here, completely took advantage of the system, doesn't pay taxes. What does that sound like? It sounds like one of those people that y'all are all mad about. The reason that you're not is because he's white. And because his great-granddaddy was pro-apartheid, which passed down to his daddy, which he clearly passed down to him when he was whooping his ass, which is probably the reason that Elon is the way that he is.
Yeah, people don't know about his dad and his grandfather. Like, if you ask someone about Elon, they're just going to say Tesla.
Well, of course, or they're going to say SpaceX, and because that's all that Elon means to them. And listen, to be clear, I have a Tesla, and I got it way before we found out what a weirdo Elon was. Okay, and I'm not getting rid of it because the thing is paid off. So you not getting. I'm riding that thing until the battery falls out. However, I don't think that because someone has amassed wealth that they are obligated to give to charity, that they are obligated to give back in any way. Now, I think they should.
Right.
And I do, but I don't think they should be obligated to do that. I do think they should be obligated to pay their share of taxes. I think that they should be obligated to pay back into the system that they took advantage of in the way that all of us who are not able to take advantage of the system to amass wealth have to pay into the system. That is the part that I think is fucked up. That is the part that I think the American people, and for that matter, people around the world, are having a really hard time understanding. These people that amass these massive amounts of wealth do so because they take advantage of a system that we as the people, because there are more of us than there are of them, that we as a people allow to continue to exist. And people cheering for this situation as if it is somehow going to trickle down to them. These people cheering about somebody becoming a trillionaire while not paying their fair share back into the government, back into the place that they came to live, that they came as an immigrant to live. Them not paying back into the country it is like chickens cheering for KFC. It makes no fucking sense to me. I am someone who likes making money. I plan on making a lot of it. I also give back a lot of my wealth and a lot of my time because I feel that it is the right thing to do. I don't care about them doing the right or wrong thing. I care about us making them pay back into the system that they used to create that wealth. That's what I care about. And if that's too hard for your little brain to understand, I don't know what to tell you. They should be taking advantage of you. The thing that pisses me off is that I haven't figured out a way to take the people that think that trillionaires are close to them. I haven't figured out a way to take their money. Once I figure out how to take your money, it's a wrap. And believe me, every day I wake up thinking of a way to do it. When I get that money, everybody's in trouble. Everybody. But I got a ways to go. And believe me, you got a longer way to go than I do. Nobody is close to being a trillionaire.
No,
Other billionaires
insane.
are not close to being a trillionaire. So it's mind-blowing to me that people are okay with a system that does not force those people to pay back into society. That is the part that bothers me.
I think that's very different than just handing the money off to just people.
Well, we can't make people support charity. You can't make people have empathy. You can't make people want to want better for the world. And certainly someone like Elon, who's made it very clear who he would like to have things in the world and have space in the world. I can't even imagine what things he would support if he was to get back. He'd probably fund the Klan. So I don't even know if I want him putting his money there. There was a time in society where the elites were positioned like there was an air about elites that made them pour back into society. They built museums, they built theaters, they built parks, they built public spaces. And to them, it was the biggest praise to have a hall, to have a banquet room, to have a park, to have these massive spaces, these massive monuments named after them for generations and generations and generations. And guess what? We still have them. And their names, these legendary families that amassed amount of wealth, not always the right way, poured back into society because that was a legacy thing for them. That is no longer the case. Elites are not building museums. They're not building parks. They're not building schools. They're not creating these lasting generational things for the future that will kind of put them in permanence of a good name, even if they were up to no good. So that part is interesting to me because that thing has shifted in society where we all as people don't put the pressure on them to create those kind of legacies. They don't care about that anymore. There used to be a time where it was like a contest. Like, oh, well, did you hear so-and-so's family has a park dedicated to them? They have a park. We must build a Arc de Triomphe. Like, they just would compete with each other to see who could give back more. Not because they necessarily cared about giving back, but because they wanted to preserve their family name, and it was a wealth competition. That doesn't exist anymore, which is a shame because they used to fund artists, and now they fund genocides.
Well, something else happened last night, actually. Josh Hokit won his heavyweight bout at UFC Freedom 250, which, by the way, was held on the White House lawn. So there's that. Obviously, we were not going to watch that fight due to where it was and an array of other things. But his post-fight interview with Joe Rogan, well, it was interesting to say the least. He ended his speech by saying, Michelle Obama is a man. Am I right, America? Rogan looked a little flustered, didn't say anything.
Did he?
Well, he said, ladies and gentlemen, Josh Hokit, and that was it. So my question, do you think it's fair that someone who is married to a politician but not one herself gets heat like this? Like, she didn't ask for this.
No, I don't think it's fair. And I've thought a lot about this because obviously my initial reaction to him is this man, needs his ass beat, but clearly they had an opportunity to do that and that didn't happen. I think context matters. Everyone is saying this is a joke. It's not a joke. He's not a comedian. He's a fighter. Right. He doesn't get paid to be funny. But I also think, to answer your question, if he had taken a shot at Obama, while still incredibly weird because Obama hasn't been president for almost 10 years now, if he had taken a shot at Hillary, who is a politician, and if he had taken a shot at Joe Biden, Bill Clinton, Mondami, anyone who has chosen to put themselves in the public eye for to serve the American people. I don't think it's fair, but that was their choice. Michelle Obama is what was the first lady of the United States of America. I have a problem with this, one, obviously, because this is incredibly racist. It's incredibly misogynist. It's disgusting for this to happen on the White House lawn. I had no plans on ever mentioning this monstrosity, this disgusting, despicable display of nonsense on the White House lawn. Insane. Because it has desecrated any kind of dignity, respect, decorum that we have as a country. It's all shot to shit. If we don't have any place in our government, in our society, in our blueprint that is sacred, we are fucked. And we are living in idiocracy. And the fact that this happened and the fact that we allowed it to happen infuriates me. But it also has taught me completely, we don't give a fuck about nothing no more. Nothing is sacred. Nothing matters. Nothing is like untouchable. Everything is dog shit. We're just living in this dog shit pile of kitty litter poo poo, and we're all okay with it because we should be rioting in the fucking street that this happens. So I had no plans on talking about it. But of course, it wasn't just that it happens. You also have to insult the former first lady, the first black first lady of the first black president that we've ever had in the United States of America, who is not in office and hasn't been in office in years. So the obsession that they have with the Obamas is so fucking weird. It's so creepy. But the obsession that they have, particularly with Michelle Obama, is infuriating. And as a black woman, it is just a constant reminder that we are the absolute lowest on the totem pole. We are the most unprotected. We are the most insulted, the most taken advantage of. It's just all around despicable.
Do you think Joe Rogan should have said something?
Of course, but he's not going to say anything. What does he care?
That's also a problem.
Of course it's a problem, but everyone involved in this is a problem. The entire fact that this exists is a problem. And some stuff has to matter. Some places have to be sacred. Nothing is sacred. We should have some respect for the White House. If the president of the United States is taking a shit on the front lawn, which is essentially what this was, we don't have anything. Like, we don't have anything that matters. We don't have anything we need to put a suit on for. And that's fine. If that's what it is, and we're all in the muck, cool. Because I'm a mean bitch. I can operate in that space. But I like to put people in spaces where they needed to be treated with respect. That is gone. There is no respect. There is no dignity. And there's no reason we should be treating these people who are in charge with any respect or dignity because they don't care about it. So it's lost. It's gone. Like, I don't like the fact that we feel comfortable as a society talking about our leaders the way that we do. That they should at least have the wherewithal to pretend like they're not pieces of shit. Like, there was a time where our pieces of shit at least wore suits and ties, okay? And like, they acted like they weren't pieces of shit. That is important. Now they just go out with their fucking dicks out and we're all just supposed to act like this is normal. It's infuriating. So this man is up here on the White House lawn talking about Michelle Obama is a man. I mean, and so everyone's getting to know me on this podcast, right? Like, this is a version that, it's not even a new version. It's a new version of me because I've gone through a lot of things. So like these past 2 years, I've changed in a lot of ways. I'm much more angry. I'm angry about a lot of things. I know it doesn't make sense because my life is awesome and I'm beautiful, but I do get really mad about a lot of things that are happening in society. And this is one of them. This absolutely drives me insane. And what I think of when I hear this man say this is I have been spending the morning looking for photos of his mother.
Did you find any?
I haven't, but I'm going to. I mean, I've been driving. Like, I haven't had time to really lock in.
What are we doing with the photos when we find them?
I mean, listen, if we're going to, like, the famous quote by Michelle Obama is, when they go low, we go high. I don't go high. I go to hell. And then whatever's under hell is where I thrive. I'm going to say something that is going to hurt your fucking feelings so bad. It will haunt you for the rest of your life because there's nothing that spoiled taint-looking man could ever say to me to hurt my feelings. He is a shart of a human. He looks like
a shart
someone's
is crazy.
Shart in their underpants that have holes around the fucking seams. He's a poop blob. And he's talking about a woman who stood beside the first black president of the United States. Even if he wasn't the first black president of the United States, what the fuck are you talking about the former first lady for? It's maddening. But anyway, the point is, if you were going to be mean, we're going to tell jokes out of joke context space because no one's paying him to tell a joke. I just think we should be meaner. Let's go. Let's fucking light it up. Where's his mother? Where's his daughter? Where's his fucking grandmother? What the fuck does this piece of shit dog snot person love? Ruin that for him. That is my takeaway from this. If people want to be disgusting, let's be the disgusting brothers. Let's fucking do it. I can do it. Let me find his mother and then just pour some money together and we'll put a picture of her fat face or whatever the fuck she looks like on a fucking billboard all around the city. Why not? Wherever he lives. This is a dumb bitch that raised a racist piece of garbage. Why not?
He couldn't take it. There's no way.
But my thing is, why not? Nothing is sacred. If we're just going to play the bully wars, somebody has to be a fucking bully after a while. These people are they're not meeting love. Like, love is not meeting hate in these times. Okay, I get it. I get it. There are people that you believe in that. And you know what? You're probably right and we need you. However, I am not meeting hate with love right now. I'm meeting hate with the bigger fucking bully. Let's fucking go.
All right. Rick Ross, he was caught at the airport this week waiting for a commercial Frontier flight in a hoodie that they claim he was trying to hide in. The internet is obviously in an uproar about it. It's become a whole debate and conversation. My question is, why do we care so much? Why?
People are addicted to flexing. And it is a disease and it doesn't make any sense. I am on a plane once a week, right?
Literally.
Maybe. At least, I'm on at least 4 flights a month. Flying commercial is very expensive. If you're curious, go look it up. Why would Rick Ross fly private everywhere?
I don't think people understand the actual cost of flying private. So let me just throw out some numbers out there. It costs anywhere between $2,000 and $14,000 per hour. Per hour to fly private.
What the fuck plane costs $2,000 an hour to fly private? Where? I'm not getting on that plane. I am not getting on that plane. I'll tell you that right now. Absolutely not. Them shits are wild, dumb expensive. Think about how much it costs to fill up your gas tank. Now imagine what that costs to fly a fucking plane for just you. It doesn't make sense that Rick Ross would fly private everywhere. Rick Ross has made a lot of money in his career. If he wants to keep that money, he won't be constantly flying private. It's ridiculously expensive. And this is coming from somebody who essentially only works, like my whole aspiration is to be able to fly private. I have flown private more times in my life than I can actually remember. And I say that as a flex because it is. However, I am not paying for that until I can buy a private flight and never think about that money again. Like, it doesn't even register to me that I'm paying for a private flight. I'm not flying private. Flying private is an incredible experience. It is every bit of the luxury you can imagine. Sushi, champagne, your own aux cord, like comfy seats, whatever you want to do on the plane, all of those things, okay? Walking right up to the plane, no TSA pre-check, none of that shit, okay? It's pure fucking luxury. It is also wild, dumb expensive. Rick Ross should be flying in commercial I'm sure he's flying in first class, which is still very expensive. Someone may even be flying him. Have you been on Delta One? Not for nothing, but Delta One over some private flights. Delta One is spectacular. It is a spectacular experience. So listen, I think it's very silly. I think it's a conversation only our community has, and we got to let it go.
Yeah, Drake fans were
There is
in uproar about it.
There is nothing shameful about flying commercial. There is nothing shameful about Delta One. And there is something shameful about blowing your money on a private jet trip that you don't need to pay for. If you're taking all of your friends and family to the Bahamas for your birthday, yeah, you splurge on that and bring everybody together. But if you need to hop a flight to Vegas, get your ass on a commercial flight. It makes no sense whatsoever that you would be making fun of him. And as far as him hiding, of course he's hiding. He's Rick Ross at the airport. I'm trying to hide at the airport. I look like a mole person. I've got a hat on, hoodie, and like I've got a duster. You can like barely see my fingernails.
Well,
who's interacting with people at the airport?
The fact that he even had to felt the need to go say that his jet is getting Starlink Wi-Fi installed, that's $500,000, like just it adds to the problem in our community. Why do you have to explain yourself? I'm going somewhere and this is how I decided to get there. Period. And like end of story.
Do people have money and I don't know about it? Is everyone doing something I don't know about? Are you guys gatekeeping?
Listen, if I had a jet, I would gladly share, but I don't. So
what the fuck? Why would he have to explain himself?
He felt the need, and that's the
absolutely
other
crazy.
side of
like
the issue.
We have to be more serious as a people. It's actually crazy. No, like Rick Ross is not in seat 32-4D. Okay, he's in first class, which is very expensive. I bet his flight costs $4,000. You got $4,000 laying around for a flight? Be fucking for real. He did not have to say his jet was getting Starlink
at $500,000.
That's why people broke. That's why people broke. We need to circle back on the Billy Corbin doc broke and get people serious again. That's ridiculous. Don't be shames, Rick. Okay? There's nothing wrong with a nice Delta One flight. Most people will never experience that in their lives. I've only done it, I think, 3 times. I miss it every time. All right, it's time for Never Too Personal. If you want to be a part of the show, twopersonalpodcast@gmail.com. Are we still checking that email? Yeah? Okay. Too personal. I always put it out, but I'm like...
Yeah. I mean, right now it's just filled with joy love letters.
Oh, okay. And feet pick requests. I do have my toes out a lot on this podcast, so you're welcome. Twopersonalpodcast@gmail.com or twopersonalshow on Instagram. You can DM us. Is it okay for married couples to sleep in separate bedrooms? Ah, fuck. I forgot. I was going to look this up. Okay. So I saw this somewhere, but as a journalist, I like to check on things first. Is it true they sleeping in the same room for poor people? So my short answer is I used to have a different answer about this, okay? I used to have a different answer, which was absolutely, if you're married, you need to sleep in the same room. In fact, I used to firmly believe that any partner that I ever had would absolutely have to live with me and we'd have to have the same house, and absolutely not. I don't feel that way at all. Now listen, I want to spend time with my partner. I want them around. But sleep is very important. And the older you get, sleep becomes essential to how you function, how you recover, how you heal, how you interact with people. Like, sleep is very fucking important to me. I got a great night's sleep last night. Wonderful. I'm in a great mood. If I didn't have a good night's sleep, I would not be in a great mood. And that's because I would be fucking tired. And sometimes your partner is a loud sleeper. Maybe they have sleep apnea. Maybe they snore. Maybe they roll around a lot. Maybe they like it really hot in the room and you like it really cold. But you're just sleeping next to each other. A lot of people sleep in different bedrooms and they don't complain about it. It doesn't even mean that they don't cuddle, that they don't have sex. But it's like, look, when it's sleep time, get to your motherfucking room. Okay? Now listen, I like a cuddle. So I would rather like have you sleep over like 1 or 2 nights a week, and then the rest of the nights I sleep by myself. But what I wanted to look up was that it's true throughout history, extreme poverty forced people into communal sleeping arrangements out of sheer necessity and for warmth. Historically, separate bedrooms were considered a luxury. And for centuries, the working poor often shared a single room or bed with family, friends, or even strangers. So the reality is, if you want to sleep together, you're poor. Which always moves people. Worked really well during COVID, calling people poor. I did that because people kept giving me their advice on vaccines, and they wouldn't shut the fuck up. So I told them it was a poor people conversation, and then they would shut the fuck up. It works every time. I don't care about your opinion about vaccines. You're not a doctor. Yeah. So I do think that everyone's preference is their preference, but I think it's absolutely okay to sleep in separate bedrooms. And you see like some people talking about, I forget who it was talking about, who was the actress that was talking about her husband and her don't have the same homes.
Gotta find it.
Do you remember, Brie? The actress that said that her and her husband don't have the same homes. They have separate homes. I can't remember, but yeah, I mean, I think everybody's preference. Yeah, Cheryl Lee Ralph. Yes. Oh, the legend. Cheryl Lee Ralph was talking about how her and her husband don't have the same home. And I think it's brilliant. Oprah and Stedman. Gwyneth's on the shit list. I don't care what Gwyneth does. But yeah, I think it's whatever your preference is. But I don't think it says anything about your relationship. I don't think it's like the wrong thing to do. And I totally get it, especially as I get older, like my comfort becomes the number one thing. It doesn't mean you're not having sex. It doesn't mean you're not being intimate. It doesn't mean you're not cuddling. Like, it just means like you're prioritizing your sleep. Like, I want to go to sleep, or I want to stay up late reading my book and you need darkness, or I want to watch a movie before I go to sleep and you like it to be completely silent. Like, sleep is important. So, and it's what rich people do. So if you want to be rich, sleep in different rooms. Great question. Thanks for being a part of the show. twopersonalpodcast@gmail.com and Two Personal Show on social. Make sure you hit subscribe, and thanks for joining us.